changes.
Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome into the channel, and I'm so happy that you guys enjoyed a couple of last videos that I made about some of the best-selling items on eBay and the best-selling toys. I'll link those videos below. Check them out if you missed them. This is 10 more unique items that sell so well on eBay that a lot of people wouldn't even think that would sell at all. Actually do make quite a few people some good profit. So they're not from any particular categories. They are from all different categories, mostly in the hard goods and collectibles and different types of those realms of categories. But without further ado, I'm gonna, as always, jump over to the iPad screen. I'll share it with you, and then you guys will get a good look at not only what is the item that I'm talking about, but also a look in at the solds behind the scenes. So you can see exactly what I'm talking about with prices and sell-through rates and the number of items. So I'll cover all of that. It's awesome, and some of these items are super unique, and you would never, ever think that they could make you money on eBay, and they absolutely can. So without further ado, let's jump over and check out some of the items that are super awesome to sell and also a little bit odd. Don't forget, as always, we are supporting small sellers all July long. Today's small seller has an amazing political and historical memorabilia store. I don't want any politics and comments to show up below, but just check out his store because it's full of all kinds of awesome vintage, modern, replicas, originals, all kinds of advertising for politics and presidents and all throughout the years, all throughout our history. So check his store out. Patrick has an amazing store, History's Tickets. I'll link it below. Please support him during this summer slowdown during the month of July, along with all the rest of our small stores that are linked in all the rest of my videos throughout July. You can check them out and do them a favor, follow them, and buy something to help them beat the summer slowdown blues. I do appreciate each and every one of you who do that. Also, thank you again to our sponsors, my Reseller Genie, who is the best accounting and inventory management tool on the planet. Check their demo and intro video out down below as well, and sign up for my Reseller Genie. They're going web-based soon, and it's going to be amazing. You can purchase the one-time account with them right now, and it'll handle all of your inventory management, all of your product tracking, and all of your back-end bookkeeping and accounting. Thank you to Paul and Faith at my Reseller Genie. All right, let's do it. Okay, so number one is going to be small appliances and vacuum parts to things. People don't even think that these will sell, and they do. Things like Bissell, Dyson, your mixers, your kitchen appliances like your Magic Bullets, your NutriBullets, all that sort of stuff has parts. They have blades, they have heads, they have plugins, filters, all sorts of things that are worth good money. Here's just one. This is a genuine Dyson V6, similar to the one that we have out there. Actually, we have a V7. I think they're up to like V11 now, but this is probably a few years old, and this is a $37.96 part. This is obviously the head attachment. If you're not familiar with these Dysons, they literally just stick into the pole like that, and you just see the little part come on there. Anyways, this sold for $37. I feel like you could have bought, people have broken Dysons, like, hey, I'll give you $5 or $10 for the broken Dyson because the cord's broke or whatever, but the parts are still good. You have to, have a way to test them out. Yeah, that's a little difficult, but, most of the time, if you're acquiring a broken item, you typically know what is broken on it, either from the person you're getting it from or possibly, through other means. Maybe it was your own. Here's one. This is a Dyson DC07 Root Cyclone 8. This is the vacuum canister. If you're familiar with these, you'll know exactly what this piece is. This sold for $35 plus $70, 73 and change, 74 and change. Here's just the Dyson DC14 original attachment hose. This thing sold for $24. So imagine if you had a DC14 broken and you were able to take it apart and get 3 or 4 good parts out of it, right? They could be $20 parts. All of a sudden you have $60 or $70 out of a broken vacuum cleaner. So that's one. If you go to like Magic Bullet parts and you look this up and you go to solds, this again, we can look up small appliances, mixers, all sort of stuff. And we just go to condition used. There's 88 of these. So these are, here's the base, the blender, the MB101, right? This is just the base, nothing else included with it. And it's $30 it's sold for, right? Again, another base, $30. Here's one where they're selling the cups and lids for 18 plus 14 ships. So this was $32 for all of these. They go in a little box, ship them off, flat rate maybe, possibly. 21. Here's the Magic Bullet Baby Bullet Turbo Steamer replacement part. Now this one only sold for $10, but it's literally just a teeny tiny little part, right? So you can scroll through all of these and you'll find all of this sort of stuff for sale. Here's another one sold for $35. This is the NutriBullet 900 Pro 900 series base, and this one sold for $34.52 or something like that. So there's always room to make money in parts off of items, so never look down on them too fast. So this one's a little bit weird, but empty boxes, particularly cell phone like iPhone and Android and Apple iPad and MacBook, things that people could use to resell items or repackage items are always pretty popular. Here's an empty iPhone 12 red box. Nothing in it. They sold it for $14. Why? Well, the reason is because there's other people who might have brick and mortar stores or online retail stores that just have a phone for sale and they want something to package it up in to look nice. They're selling used items, but they want to package it up and make a good presentation. So they'll pay $14, right? Here's one that sold for $22 and one that sold for $10 and ones that sell for $10 to $18. So empty boxes. Also, your empty Louis Vuitton bags or Louis Vuitton packaging. Any of that sort of stuff. People really love the high-end designer purse bags, the jewelry bags, you know, like the Jared stuff does pretty well. Anything that you can think of, the little teal, what is that little company, the teal bag stuff, that stuff, anything that's legitimate, authentic, the real bag, the real box, the Tiffany stuff will sell really, really well. So keep an eye out for that sort of thing. Number 3 is actually packaging and private labeling your own product. And so we used to make a joke when I was at my old house with the candles I had on the table where it was Casey's candles. Basically, you just buy a generic plain Jane, maybe a red cinnamon smelling candle, and you have it shipped in from China or India or wherever you choose to buy it, even maybe domestically made in the USA, which would be awesome. And you package it up. You create a label and a graphic and you wrap it up in plastic that has a label called Casey's Candles. And people start to learn your candle. They love the smell. They tell their friends. Their friends and family buy it. And all of a sudden you're selling crazy 100 candles a day, right? So this one that I'm showing on the screen is kind of like a tumbler cup. We all know the brand Yeti. Yeti is just a glorified private label that became a worldwide known brand. Every brand that you know is somebody that created a product and slapped their name on it or had a manufacturing plant slap their name on it and they just became popular. So this is Bubba's insulated thermos, right? That's just a brand name that somebody has created called Bubba's and they slap their name on it and they're importing these from wherever and off they go, right? So private label is a way to make money. However, just know that you have to get an audience either through social media, paid advertisements, word of mouth. If you don't, you won't sell any. All right, next we have broken items, right? So MacBook Pro broken, and I'm just gonna search for this in the entire category. You can filter this by solds, but anything broken, everything from laptops to tablets to phones to DVD, VCR combos. If it's electronic and it's broken, even some tools, it can be sold in most situations. So this is a MacBook Pro 15 A1502 with no HD, no hard drive, and no power supply for parts. This sold for $202.50. Now, this is probably a $500 or $600 computer because it needs, a $100 hard drive, $100 power supply. They sold it for $200. That makes it $400 and change, maybe $500. And that's why they sold it so cheap. But here's the thing. Maybe somebody was just like, this is broken. It's their old computer. They have it thrown in the corner. They're like, I'm going to throw it away. Just give me $20, give me $50. Boom, you got a profit. Maybe a pawn shop has bought a computer and they made a mistake because it has a bad battery and they paid too much for it. So now they just want to get rid of it. And they're like, look, just give us $100 for it. It's got a bad power supply. And you're like, oh, I can get 200, maybe 225 for it because the hard drive still might be good. Boom, you've just made a profit, right? So anything with electronics, high-end tech that's broken. Now, if you're trying to sell a $50 item that's broken, well, a $50 item that's broken might only be worth $10 or $15. So that's probably not going to be worth it. You do need some more expensive items. You're going to have items that are 50 to 100 and plus that are broken that have room after the break to make you some money. All right, number 5 is outdated old technology and electronics. VCR, DVD combos are a really good example. Also, you guys know I sell tons of older remote controls that I buy for pennies and sell for $10, $15, $20. These things can be worth $50, $100. Here's one that's worth $240, a Funai. Here is an everyday Toshiba that's worth $80. So imagine picking that up at a Salvation Army or a Goodwill, and maybe they wanted 10 bucks for it because it's all outdated technology. Okay, 10 bucks. I just sold it for 80, which puts me up 70. I paid, 10 bucks in fees, which puts me up 60, and it cost me 25 bucks to ship, and I made a $35 to $40 profit on it. So that could be one example. Here's one that sold for $118.99, so $119 plus $62.90. So you're talking about $120, $180, $181, right? Maybe this was at the thrift store for 20. That leaves you $160, less your 20 in fees leaves you $140, less your 25, 30 bucks in shipping. You could make over $100 on something like this, and it's super outdated technology. The remotes, again, remote controls and old GPSs. People that go out camping and hiking like old handheld GPSs that we may not even think to use anymore because of phones. But if there's no phone service, they want that GPS that's already downloaded on the piece of hardware, and they don't have to connect to the internet to use it. So anything outdated technology can be valuable. Just because it's old doesn't mean it is, but it can be. Look it up, of course. All right, old photography, photos, especially Western stuff, things from the turn of the century, things from the industrial time, things from, anything showing policemen or fire or anything like that. Photos are just really collectible. These horses, there's all sort of things, old celebrity photos. So people don't realize, old Polaroids even can be from the 90s, 80s. Very, very collectible, and depending on what you come across. I had somebody years ago, 3, 4, 5 years ago, who bought a huge box, a gigantic box. I mean, like probably the size of one of those big UPS boxes of photos at a flea market from a guy. And I want to say they paid him like 75 bucks or 80 bucks. He wanted 100 for the whole box. They probably settled on like 80. They brought it home. That box, they ended up listing for months. It took them 2 or 3 months to get through it all and list it. There were thousands of pictures in it. And that box ended up bringing them north of 15 grand in net, nearly 25 or 30,000 in gross sales on that one box. And it's what took their store from being a $2,000 or $3,000 store up to being like a $10,000 a month store. Literally in 3 or 4 months, they did like 30 grand in gross sales, and they made 15, 16,000 in their pocket. So can always happen. They were, for those 3 months, they went from making 1,500 in profit to making 5,000 a month in profit for 3 months. So just something to keep an eye out for. Photography is great. And since then, those people have turned their store into an all photo store. Now they go out on Craigslist, to flea markets, to yard sales, and that's all they do is hunt down photos and old Polaroids and pictures, and they just do a really good job of it. So there you go, is another item to look for your eBay store. All right, next on the list is postcards, newspapers, ephemera, ephemera, whatever they call it. It is paper goods, stuff written down, paper goods printed. That is historical. A lot of postcards for sale on the internet. A lot of newspapers, 9/11 newspapers, election newspapers, big world event newspapers, Diana newspapers, the crash of the Challenger newspapers, anything with a news story. Same with postcards, anything famous. For example, Las Vegas. This is the Blue Angel, Las Vegas, Nevada Blue Angel Motel postcard sold for $52. And this was probably circa 1950s. Looking at the cars, not 100% sure. This one was actually written out, and we should be able to see a date if I'm right. Can't really read the date on it. 1953 maybe. It says, "Howdy, greetings from Las Vegas. We have had a wonderful time. We went to the Maui Lounge and something. Hollywood saved. Jenny loves. He's terrific. We went into the Brown Derby. I'm writing this by the pool. We are staying at this motel last night at 9 p.m. in the 90-degree swimming. Mary Clark, Everett, Washington. This was sent to with a 2-cent postage stamp. So that is pretty cool. And as you click, you can see more stuff. A lot of Las Vegas. When Caesars was being built, a lot of clear land. That's crazy. The Atom Bomb Blast, Binion's Horseshoe, Club Casino, Las Vegas from the 1950s. A vintage lot of 4 Las Vegas, Nevada Travel Lodge, motel postcards. All kinds of crazy, crazy stuff that will sell for good money. And people love postcards and collectibles and newspapers. So definitely keep an eye out for those. All right, number 8 is blank VHS tapes, blank CDs, rewritable drives. They can be worth pretty good money. Here's a set of 4-pack of T20 6-hour standard grade VHS blank video cassettes from Maxell. standard grades, and they sold for $20 as a set of 4. You might see these sitting around a thrift store for $2 or $3 because nobody cares about them. You might see them at a yard sale or a flea market for $2 or $3. All of a sudden, they're worth 20. Here's one that's a 6-hour tape. Again, a 4-pack. This one sold for $33.98. It's almost $34. Again, you might see them sitting around for a couple bucks in most places. Don't turn your nose up to blank VHSs, blank CDs, blank stuff like that, because people still use them for recordings and old movie theaters and transfers and all that sort of thing. So there's number 8. Okay, so number 9 is a little bit weird, but it's glasses, old prescription glasses and sunglasses, but not because people are looking for the glass or the prescriptions. In many cases, they're looking for the frames, right? So here's a set of Puma men's eyeglass frames, 50, 17, 14, but they are looking for that frame. They don't care about the lens. This set sold for $44.85 with best offer. Harley Davidson ones, $34. So a lot of frames can be worth that $30 to $40. Here's a real expensive designer set from France. This is Lafont Brigitte women's designer eyeglasses, sold for $109. So you guys, here's a set of Armani Exchange ones, $70.41. So just because somebody's getting rid of some glasses, if they have a cool frame or a designer frame and the lenses are no good, it does not matter. You can pop the lenses out and you can sell them just how they are, and they could be worth some decent money because you can't sell the prescriptions, but you can definitely sell the frames. Okay, last on our list is used perfume and colognes. People might not realize this is a thing, but look at this very first. Victoria's Secret Bombshell Wildflower Perfume, 1.7 ounce, used 95%. In other words, somebody's taken a few sprays out of it, didn't like it, sold for $35 plus $5.65, so $40.65 best offer, so maybe a $35 sale. And that is because people still want the scent. They don't care that somebody else has sprayed out of it. It's a little weird, but not completely. I understand a little bit. Here's a Britney Spears Perfume Radiance with 0.5 ounces, partially used, 3/4, and it's still sold for $15. Here's a partially used Britney Spears Radiance, because this is really hard to get. You can't walk in the store and just find this anywhere, right? 1.7 ounce perfume, pre-owned, and it's $25. And you can scroll down and it will tell you in the description it's about 50%, right? So for 50%, they still sold this for $25. So even if you find something that's rare types of perfumes and colognes, look at this thing. This is a 3/4 ounce, I can't even say this, Schiaparelli perfume, 3/4 ounce, 1930, 40s bottle, 35%. And this thing sold for $53.44 best offer. I wonder what this smells like. It doesn't look like it smells good, but who knows? Anyways, vintage Bonne Bell Skin Musk Oil sold for $41. So if you find something that's half empty, there's a Gucci one that sold for $58 that was used. So definitely look for making some money off of some of this stuff if you find it. And it's not perfect. Makes you wish you could go around to all of the retail stores, the Dillards, the Macy's, the JCPenney's, and say, hey, look, when your testers and colognes and perfumes are getting to be like 50% or 30%, can I have them? And they won't. They won't do that for you, I doubt. But if they would, if you could ask them for all that, and then you could sell them all and make some money. Anyways, that's 10 things. 10 weird, unique, odd things that make money on eBay and are sellable, actually sellable, and that a lot of you guys watching me do sell, and some of you have dabbled in. I hope it helps you. I hope you enjoyed this series of videos of some of the best items on eBay. I'll link the ones down below. And don't forget to support our small seller, Patrick, with his History's tickets, political and historical memorabilia down below. Use the link to visit his store. And also thank our supporters of this channel, My Reseller Genie and List Perfectly, for being the awesome sponsors they are. They're linked below along with everything else in the description box. Make sure you hit see more and check it all out. Thank you guys. I will see you in the next one.